We're now being joined by our distinguished guest, Lucky Ighoyota, who's a social critic, a commentator on energy matters, advisor and consultant to a committee on implementation of Petroleum Industry Act in Delta State, set up by an international oil company. He's here to address this week's threat by a group in the Niger Delta to unleash widespread sabotage on oil infrastructure in the Warri area and the likely economic consequences to Nigeria, among other things. Good morning, Lucky. Good to have you join us on the morning show.
Good morning, Steve. Thank you for having me.
Good morning, welcome.
Thank you, Satan. Thank you, Adeswa.
All right, Lucky, let's talk about an issue of concern. And of course, this is an area that we're very conversant with. Earlier this week, we saw a statement from the Niger Delta Liberation Movement. The movement, it is called, claiming responsibility for a few of the issues that were recorded, around the Warri axis, blowing up of oil installations and things, according to them, which is a preliminary strike to register their displeasure, given what they claim to be Chevron's employment quota that is not satisfactory to them. What are the details around what Chevron seems to be doing that is not pleasing to a section of stakeholders in that part of Nigeria, and why resort to the battle tactics that we thought that we had left behind, many years ago, of blowing up installations that Nigerians' money will have to come back to fix?
These facilities are located in the Niger Delta, particularly in Delta State. The company in question here operates different OML in Delta and exports in Delta. There's an host community that hosts this particular company in Delta. Then there are also communities that are producing whose oil and gas are being exported by this same company. Now we have the Robo Enclave. I'm of the Robo Stock. I'm the chairman of Robo Progressive Union, Technical Committee on Oil and Gas. In the build-up to these whole recruitment processes, what is the stake of the Robo people? What is the stake of the Jaw people? What is the stake of the Shekiri people? What is the stake of the larger people? If you ask me now, I don't know. I honestly don't know. These so-called persons that are destroying the facility, they are Nigerians. They are supposed to be beneficiaries of the proceeds from this, from the oil and gas activities. Yeah. Nigerian government today runs its budget around oil and gas. You know that. Now, if we allow this to fester or escalate beyond what we've already seen in the last few days, it's definitely going to tell on our economy. Our economy is already struggling. And if we allow the renewed tension in the Niger Delta to fester, it's not going to augur well for everybody. So what I think should be done right now is that the federal government should step in, because these oil firms are a bit rigid. Probably they've taken a position already. Where is the community stake? You cannot be bringing somebody elsewhere from America, Europe, or even part of Nigeria or Africa to come and work in people's domain without taking cognizance of their own interests, especially when it comes to employment. We have 2-1 graduates, we have first-class graduates, we have master's degree holders, all over these ethnic nationalities I just mentioned for you. We have seasoned professionals that can be converted, that are even contractors that can be converted to staff. The issue is an issue of stake. Give people their stake. The matter will end. Incorporate them in your employment process. There are quotas for community. Give them. Don't tell people you are doing it on a fair ground when we know that some of the top management staff are bringing their brother-in-law, are bringing their children, are bringing their wife's sister and all of that. Nobody is supporting what has happened.
Of course.
It's a concern and it must be addressed. But the needful must be done. They should stop all these politics. These Nigerian politics have destroyed this country. Can that be done in Aberdeen? Can they do that in Qatar? Can they do that in Kuwait? Can they do that in UAE? You understand? They've been here for decades. They came in around late 60s or so, 70s. What have they done to remedy the entire region? We must speak truth, and we must be very deliberate in our approach to solving the Niger Delta issue. Resource control, those issues are grammar. All those are grammar. The question of the Niger Delta people, a lot have been done. The amnesty program, the presidential amnesty program, the NDDC. Today now, NDDC is not superfunded anymore. It's just a question of satisfying political followers. Look, if we want to move forward, we must all come clean. We must all come clean and say, we want a better country. It's not just the Niger Delta issue now. We want a better country where everybody will have a sense of belonging. It is this disenchantment that is making people to be disgruntled. When people are pained, you can imagine people spent years in university, or if not for the Tantita thing that came up. Yeah. You know how many local bunkering, modular refinery, artisan refinery we have all over the Niger Delta. But Tantita has come in the last few years to address all of these issues. Since Tantita came, they have been carrying people along in the region. Have you heard of anything like this? If not for this oil companies' recruitment that caused this one. If I'm opportuned, which I will not be opportuned, because they know themselves, and I'm always speaking for the Robo people, what we will do is in our mind. The Robo are not a violent people, but we have our own grand plan to make our case. You understand? We'll make our case. But if they want to handle this issue, if the government or the Chevron or the liberation people want to handle the issue, the liberation people, they are not ghosts. They are human beings. They know their leaders. They should go and meet their leaders, call their political leaders. Then government should, as a matter of urgency, call CNL to order, to call stakeholders, so that they meet and iron out this issue and put a pay to it once and for all. Carry everybody along. Yeah.